Hey guys, it's Shalene, and today I'm going to be talking to you about making techno drums. I have a new sample pack which I've just dropped. The link to this is at the top of the description. This is Definitive Techno Drum Loops Volume 2. What this is it's 10 drum loops. You can see with each of these I've got them all split out to the individual sounds so you can take them apart and put them back together and make your own loops. I'll give you some demos as well. Here are some of the loops. Yeah, as you can hear, really solid, and I'm going to be using this sample pack to explain about making your own techno drums today. And so yeah, to get the sample pack, the link is right at the top of the description. You also get 10 free bonus melodies with this, so I'll play these for you really quick. So you get those free melodies as well as this mastering rack for free. So you really get pretty much everything that you need to make a techno track with just this drum loop sample pack. Like I said, link is at the top of the description. This is a really great way to support me, and it's not that expensive, guys. Plus, these really, in my opinion, are the best sounds out on the market. You know, I really try to make these sample packs not just like a cool sample pack, but something that really sounds professional, like these tracks that you guys are hearing that can help you to make your tracks sound as fat and as full and as professional as those tracks as well. So yeah, if you want to make really great tracks, all the stuff is in the description right at the top. You know, this mastering rack on its own, mastering could be like, you know, $100, $200, $300, $400. But you get this mastering rack for free, so you can do this yourself. You can even start mastering tracks for your friends with this. So yeah, link is at the top of the description, and let's dive in. So as you can see, I've got a little loop I've put together in front of me. I'll play this for you here. And so the first thing I want to talk about here is just like the different amount of elements and how to know what is too much and too little. As you guys know, techno is a pretty minimal style of music. Like, it's meant to be pretty open. It's meant to have kind of a space that the listener can fit themselves into. And you can't really do this if you have too much stuff happening. But at the same time, you don't want to do too little stuff because, you know, like if we just had, say, the kick and this hi-hat for the whole track, just like this over and over and over, you know, it could get boring after a while. So you need to have enough stuff to where it's not going to be too much and get in the way of other elements or just get in the way of the track being nice and enjoyable, but then also not too few elements to where it's going to be boring. So the way I try to do this is just basically by making sure that every element is in its own place. So for example, like these hi-hats, we have these ones and this hi-hat. But as you can see, they're very different sounds. Like this hi-hat is more mid-rangey, more kind of like a tick-tick-tick, and this one is just like a straight punchy hi-hat, which is more on the high end, and then you put these together. And they're not really fighting for space, they're complementing each other. The same thing can be said with the tambourine here and this closed hi-hat. Where like on their own, you know, you can hear the tambourine. And you can hear the hi-hat. They're very different sounds. And when you put them together, you can still hear the space between them. So that's the rule of thumb I try to keep, is like just making sure that when you have all the sounds playing together, you can still hear each individual sound and still tear it apart. So yeah, that's the first thing, like just really making sure you're not filling it out too much, because I've gotten some demos from people where a lot of times, like, people want to try to throw in too much stuff, and yeah, it can really mess it up, but if it's too little stuff at the same time, it's gonna mess it up as well. So that's the first thing. The second thing is making sure that your drums are not just like the most basic elements. And what I mean by this is like the most basic elements here would be like these, like, you know, the main hi-hats and then the kick. And we can even say like maybe this clap would be considered part of like the very basic elements. You know, this is good, but it feels like it could use something to kind of pick up the energy and kind of lift it up a little bit. So that's where these quote-unquote like extra percussion sounds come in. You can see we have these 2 extra open hi-hats. Which you can hear are creating tons of movement now because you have this one hitting on every other hi-hat. It's like, and then you get this one, which is just panning around playing some 16th notes. And then when you put that all together, again, like, you can hear it, it really adds a lot. In terms of energy and picking the overall track up, without taking up too much space, you know, these are very much sort of fitting into the mix. And it's the same deal with this clicky percussion up here, too. Like, that's adding a lot, just having that constant. You probably hear that in the mix now. You know, when I turn that off, it's definitely picking up the energy a lot. So again, these extra little background elements are really going to make a big difference and really going to help you to take your track from like here to up here, you know, to really make it special and really make it exciting and interesting. The next tip that I have for you on making techno drums is to give your kick and your low end some movement. So I'll play you my kick that I have here. So you can hear, you know, typically in techno you would have your kick and your bass are kind of like the same sort of thing here. You know, it's like a rumble kick. But you can hear there's 3 layers being played right now. We have the main kick, which is just the doom, doom. Just like that straight punch. I can even show you these. So there's just the kick on its own. Then we have the rumble, which is the bass. Which is just made with a filtered down kick with some processing on it. And then we have this ghost kick. Which is just doing those little like. Now the reason why you want to give your kick a lot of movement is because it's going to really make the dance floor move differently. Like I think if you have all that like kind of stuff going on like you hear in this track, you know, it's creating groove on the most basic level, the lowest frequencies. And that's really important in techno because again, that's really where a lot of the movement is happening. Like, you know, in house music, you're really dancing to the bass line and the kick. It's the syncopation of the bass line and then the kick being doom, 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 doom. That's what really makes you dance with house music. And since we don't really have a bass line in techno like that, where, you know, it's doom, 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 or something like that, since it's usually, you know, just a simple kind of deep bassy note, this is how we're giving it that same kind of movement. And you can hear it really brings the track to life versus just having a kick that would just be like that. You know, that could be a bit boring. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to give you some tips on how to make your own techno drums and some things that aren't out there, you know, because a lot of times people love to make videos where it's like, okay, yeah, you know, use a 909 kick, use a 909 hi-hat, this is how you make a rumble. But I want to make a video where it's more conceptual and it's more talking about like the ideas behind the stuff and how it's all working on a very subconscious level, but very much in your face as well, because all of this stuff is impacting the overall groove and the overall track and how it sounds. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get Definitive Techno Drum Loops Volume 2, my brand new sample pack. It's available right at the top of the description, and yeah, this is a great sample pack. It's got 10 really strong professional sounding techno drum loops, as you can hear. I'll play you some of the ones I haven't played you. I think I played that one. Yeah, again, you get these 10 really solid techno drum loops. You know, you can make a whole album off of just the sample pack here, where you can go in and take these apart and really understand what's going on, as well as make your own tracks by mixing some of the loops up, or even just use them straight out of the pack like I've done here. This is mostly just loop 4, but with the kick from loop 3. So yeah, link to that is at the top of the description. Plus you get those free bonus melodies with the MIDI and the wave, as well as my definitive mastering rack. So you're really getting everything you need here to make a great techno track. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.